okay, well, they're on that line right there, and they got that shield right there, but they keep putting that like that.
Neither side should automatically be treated as having won the argument simply because a legal filing exists. Nevertheless, the reported finding...
My headspace that I'm in now is way better than what I was before, and that's the only thing that matters to me.
I will have to go with Tank, man. Like I said, if he has a good preparation, he's a monster. He's a little Mike Tyson, man. He's a beast,
Financial stakes have made the situation impossible to ignore. Whenever a major streaming platform invests heavily in a live sporting event, the cancellation of that event can create serious consequences. Advertising agreements may need to be renegotiated, sponsorship commitments can be affected, production expenses may already have been spent, and promotional campaigns may have to be canceled or redesigned. The financial impact...
Man, Tank, man, is a great fighter, man. When he trains, he's an animal.
Can potentially reach far beyond the fighters involved. This is why the legal battle, if the reported claims are accurate, could become one of the most significant business disputes connected to Jake Paul's boxing career. The central issue in any contract dispute is typically whether the agreements were followed, whether either side had a legal right to terminate or change the arrangement, and what damages, if any, resulted from the breakdown. Those are questions that ultimately have to be answered by the legal process and the evidence presented by both parties. For Jake Paul, however, the situation creates an additional challenge because his entire public image has been built around being a...
I know you spent some time with David Benavidez as well.
Yeah.
And his father. And then we found out yesterday, I think it was, that Tank Davis is going to train with his father. Did you see that?
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
How do you think that's going to go?
I mean, look, I think that's a different look. I think definitely that might be really good. I know Jose Benavidez is a real great trainer. I was able to train with him, see him spar, and see him obviously work with his son. And I mean, Benavidez is crazy. He was lighting up his sparring partners. I was just like, oh, I'm gonna try that.
Okay.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna try this. So it was crazy to see it. It was definitely crazy to see it. But I think that'd be a different look. I think that's the whole thing about boxing. You just want to continue to learn. You want to get different looks. You want to see what works, see what doesn't work, and hopefully it does work for him.
Disruptive force in boxing. His brand is based on confidence, controversy, risk-taking, and the ability to create major events that attract global attention. If a dispute with a major streaming company becomes prolonged, it could potentially affect relationships with future partners, sponsors, and broadcasters. At the same time, Jake's supporters would argue that his ability to generate attention remains one of his greatest strengths. Even when critics attack him, they continue to talk about him, and that level of public interest has enormous commercial value. This is the paradox at the center of Jake Paul's career. The same controversy that creates criticism can also create publicity, and the same attention that frustrates traditional boxing fans can make him extremely valuable to entertainment companies. That is why the future of his career remains so difficult to predict. If Jake returns to the ring, the question will be whether he continues fighting established names from boxing or moves back toward opponents who generate maximum entertainment value. His supporters want to see him continue testing himself against legitimate fighters, while his critics want him to prove that he can compete consistently at a genuinely elite level. The Anthony Joshua fight, regardless of the outcome, became an important part of that conversation.
Man, he looks super good, but hopefully he takes things serious, and I think he'll look spectacular again.
Because it placed Jake in a situation where the difference between entertainment boxing and elite professional boxing was impossible to ignore. The bigger Jake's events become, the greater the expectations will be, and that means the business side of his career will become just as important as what happens inside the ring. Every contract, every promotional agreement, and every major partnership carries consequences when millions of dollars and global audiences are involved. The reported dispute involving Netflix and the canceled Tank Davis event therefore represents a major test, not only for Jake Paul, but for the entire...
So if Tank and Haney fight, who do you like?
I like Tank.
You like Tank? Why?
That's the way he fights.
For me, man, I really like David Haney. Congratulations, on all his belts. It will be a really good fight, man. That's a fight that people want to see. I will definitely pay pay-per-view for that. That would be an exciting and a really, really good fight.
What about Ryu against the winner?
Oh man, that's a dream come true. Like I said, both fighters are very dangerous. We would definitely love just the opportunity to fight them one day.
Business model surrounding modern celebrity boxing. The sport has changed dramatically in recent years, with streaming platforms, influencers, celebrities, and traditional fighters increasingly competing for the same audience. Events are no longer promoted only through traditional boxing networks. Social media can create a global audience overnight, and fighters with huge online followings can generate interest that sometimes rivals established champions. But with that opportunity comes greater responsibility.
We come from two different sides, like, of the world. We still on the same path to get the same thing. You know, I gotta be in there with him. I gotta be able to, you know, his arm reach, his size, his power, the way he moving and things like that. I just gotta adapt as I fight him. I think it's gonna be a great event. Every time I fight is fireworks.
Once an event becomes a multi-million-dollar production involving international partners, contractual obligations become extremely important. The days of simply changing plans at the last minute without major consequences are gone. Every decision can affect promoters, sponsors, broadcasters, venues, and thousands of fans who have invested their own time and money into the event. That is why the reported legal dispute has attracted so much.
Man, it's crazy out there, man. On two fronts. One, word is that Gervonta Davis switched trainers again. And the second is word from his camp that they don't believe that Gervonta Davis is really the person talking and making the fight with Devin Haney. Absolute positive, just disorder. That's what I can say about that, man. And it makes me nervous for what's going on with Gervonta, and I'll explain to you why. But before I do, as usual, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing to your boy. And thank you to everybody that supports the channel in any way that you can support it. Really appreciate y'all, man. I've been relaxing a little bit this year, pressing a little less hard on this boxing, but still being consistent. And definitely looking forward to this return of Gervonta Davis, man.
Much attention. It raises a much bigger question about where boxing is heading and whether the new generation of crossover fighters can successfully operate within the traditional business structures of professional sports. Jake Paul has repeatedly challenged the old system.
Yes. I'm good with Coach Calvin Ford. Nice guy, man. We've talked on the phone. He's come on my channel before. Coach Kenny Ellis. I consider him a good dude, man. He's been on the channel multiple times. Good guy. Also, whenever the Upton Gym mom of the gym, Lori Reed, think the world of their whole team. And I'm not usually the person to kind of get into any of this stuff, but it's so high profile that I think it's important for me to say and talk about it. So first, let's talk about the fact that it is being reported that Gervonta Davis is changing trainers from Calvin Ford to Jose Benavidez, Senior, the father of David Benavidez. Terrific trainer, seems like a real good dude. Obviously knows what he's doing. His son is one of the best fighters that there is in the sport of boxing.
And whether you admire him or dislike him, there is no denying that he has forced boxing to reconsider how major events are promoted and marketed. But challenging the system also means facing the responsibilities that come with operating at the highest commercial level. If the legal allegations surrounding the Netflix situation are ultimately proven, the consequences could extend beyond one event or one contract. If the allegations are not proven, the dispute could still leave important questions about communication, trust, and business relationships between major entertainment companies and combat sports personalities. Either way, the story is far from over. Jake Paul has built his career by surviving controversy, turning criticism into attention, and using every major moment to create another headline. The real question now is whether this latest controversy will become another chapter in his long-running rise, or whether it will create lasting damage to his reputation within the boxing industry. Meanwhile, fans are waiting to see what comes next. Will Jake Paul return to the ring against another established boxer? Will he continue pursuing major crossover events? Could a future fight with Gervonta Davis ever become possible again? Or will the reported legal dispute permanently change the relationship between Jake Paul and major streaming platforms? There are still far more questions than answers.
If y'all don't believe Tank and Shakur and Devin gonna have to fight each other one day, y'all dumb. They both signed to Zuffa, so they're gonna fight each other, whether you like it or not. So that fight gonna happen, whether Keyshawn having a fit or whatever else, they all gonna have to fight at Zuffa. They think that they're friends. They're friends now because they gotta build the company. When all y'all get there and don't have no saying they telling you who you fighting, then y'all gonna really see what's up. They didn't give y'all all that money for nothing. The Bible tell you not to sell your soul, right? Somebody give you a big chunk that becomes your boss. You gotta do things. They giving you money. You didn't make your own money. Giving them money is the other way around. So now you gotta answer to them, not them answer to you. So Shakur is gonna have to fight when it get to that time. All these people. So he's gonna have to show if he had left or whether he like it or not. If he think they're giving him all that money and they ain't gonna make him fight, then that boy don't know.
Answers. And until the legal process provides clarity, viewers should treat the most serious claims as allegations rather than established facts.
Dev tweets that him and Tank might end up fighting, that Tank's team just reached out. I know that's your folks. I know that's your folks.
I don't know what's going on. I know Tank is like, I don't know, like legal issues is all over the place right now.
Did that shock you hearing that? Because I don't think that Dev would just
put that out.
Yeah, he said it looked like Tank then finally grew some balls or some shit. I don't think Dev will put that out. And from what you know, have they ever reached out before? In the past?
I heard like it's different. It's always been like talks and all that called, but it haven't been no like real paperwork. Same thing with Shakur, same thing. They all call it talk. There's a difference of.
What is undeniable is that Jake Paul's career has become one of the most fascinating stories in modern boxing, combining sport, entertainment, business, social media, and controversy in a way the sport has rarely seen before. Whether you believe Jake Paul is changing boxing for the better or simply turning it into a
he's the money, like he's a shaker right now, so to fight him, you gotta do whatever he's comfortable with.
Neither side should automatically be treated as having won the argument simply because a legal filing exists. Nevertheless, the reported financial stakes have made the situation impossible to ignore. Whenever a major streaming platform invests heavily in a live sporting event, the cancellation of that event can create serious consequences. Advertising agreements may need to be renegotiated.
Let's say they decide to do 144 and they want to do like a weight hydration clause of 15 pounds. Devin Haney can't, I doubt, if Devin Haney be like, oh, I'll meet you at 144, but I can't get a rehydration clause. I'm not saying this is negotiation. I'm just saying, I'm just putting something to the table. If you don't agree to Tank's terms, it's not.
Sponsorship commitments can be affected. Production expenses may already have been spent, and promotional campaigns may have to be canceled or redesigned. The financial impact can potentially reach far beyond the fighters involved. This is why the legal battle, if the reported claims are accurate, could become one of the most significant business disputes connected to Jake Paul's boxing career. The central issue in any contract dispute is typically whether the agreements were followed, whether either side had a legal right to terminate.
That's cool. That's cool, but why you keep mentioning me?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
How your son to do something like that? Because his son ain't really... His son ain't really like that. You know what I mean? That's why he got to do all the talking. He got to do all the woofing at the mouth. You know what I mean?
Right.
His son ain't soft ass.
Okay. I like that. You tell me, like I said, you coach her, man. One of the things that I like about your fights, obviously the way you fight, your fighting style is exciting, but you bring it out. It feel like, I used to go to them Floyd fights. It feel like one of the moments where the whole culture come out to support you. Did you ever think that you was gonna have culture in that type of way?
You know why it's like that? Because people can actually still see me, when I was wilding.
I remember that. Yeah, see me outside.
They can see me outside.
Yeah,
that's why I was like, it's like us hanging out, and then you see me on TV, like, oh, that's my dog. Yeah, you feel me?
Right.
So it's like that.
So they feel it more when it's...
Terminate or change the arrangement, and what damages, if any, resulted from the breakdown. Those are questions that ultimately have to be answered by the legal process and the evidence presented by both parties. For Jake Paul, however, the situation creates an additional challenge because his entire public image has been built around being a disruptive force in boxing. His brand is based on confidence, controversy, risk-taking, and the ability to create major events that attract global attention. If a dispute with a major streaming company becomes prolonged, it could potentially affect relationships with future partners.
So why people even talk like he the best at? He didn't even fight at 135 yet.
Right.
He didn't even have power at 126. I mean 126, 30 or none of that.
He is good.
Okay. How can you? All that's just okay. How can you stop people that can actually hit? No matter all that boxing, you're going to get hit.
Sponsors and broadcasters. At the same time, Jake's supporters would argue that his ability to generate attention remains one of his greatest strengths. Even when critics attack him, they continue to talk about him, and that level of public interest has enormous commercial value. This is the paradox at the center of Jake Paul's career. The same controversy that creates criticism can also create publicity, and the same attention that frustrates traditional boxing fans can make him extremely valuable to entertainment companies. That is why the future of his career remains so difficult to predict. If Jake returns...
I don't think anyone beats Tank Davis. I think that much for Tank Davis. Maybe not outside the ring. I hope he's getting better in that area, quite frankly. But in the ring, I don't think any of these guys beat Tank. I think he's that good. He's that good a puncher where you can't make a mistake. And he's that good of an athlete as far as pure talent and technically and cerebrally in that ring, where he finds a way, where he does what has to be done. He's patient. He's not just a seek and destroy miss. He's patient. He takes little steps. If he has to not come forward, he won't come forward. He'll move around for a while. He'll find the key to the door. If he has to give ground, he'll give ground. He'll set traps. I think that much of Tank Davis.
Returns to the ring. The question will be whether he continues fighting established names from boxing or moves back toward opponents who generate maximum entertainment value. His supporters want to see him continue testing himself against legitimate fighters, while his critics want him to prove that he can compete consistently at a genuinely elite level. The Anthony Joshua
Debo and this pic that he put up and what he said in a caption, he's getting some backlash, some negative feedback here. The thing is, though, he didn't start it. He just finished it in a way that a lot of people don't appreciate and don't respect. But to be honest, Gervonta Tank Davis, when he started getting involved with all this, it started getting ugly. All the stuff that he's been saying, going back and forth with Shakur Stevenson and then with Debo, implying that we can meet right now and shoot the fair one. And Debo coming with sense like, hey, brother, it's father's. I'm chilling with my baby. It's like, man. But Shakur Stevenson and Debo going back and forth. You got Shakur Stevenson talking about, listen, you didn't do the scales check. What happened? Debo's like, hey, I don't have to do that. Agreeing to 144, that isn't enough? And Shakur's laugh like, yeah, because you know how big you are, Debo. Pause.
Fight, regardless of the outcome, became an important part of that conversation because it placed Jake in a situation where the difference between entertainment boxing and elite professional boxing was impossible to ignore. The bigger Jake's events become, the greater the expectations will be, and that means the business side of his career will become just as important as what happens inside the ring. Every contract, every promotional agreement, and every major partnership carries consequences when millions of dollars and global audience.
And then you have Debo going after Gervonta, talking about how, you know, the only fade he's running is with women pretty much and all that referring to what's going on with him outside of boxing, all those allegations. His father, Bill Haney, jumped into it and echoing these things. But there's all these distractions, and honestly, everybody's right. Why? Because all these young men are frustrated. Gervonta is pissed. I get Gervonta. Like the guy, because of what's going on outside the ring, if his decisions being wrong or not, either way, he's not satisfied. He hasn't been in the ring fighting for a while. Shakur Stevenson, his clock is starting to tick, right? His last fight was Neofimo, and we all love that victory, but now it's like, bruh, it's time. Keyshawn just fought all right, but I don't even think he's satisfied because he didn't even want to fight him. He's like, okay, I get that out the way. Now, can I get the fights I want? And I know Debo's pissed. Debo just became champion in a good win against Brian Norman. And after that fight, I recall him being like, yo, let's go. Whoever wants to